I met a gypsy.
And it's experience, and I guess that's why there's only a handful of you guys that, and gal that actually gets selected to do this event.
Yeah, it's like yesterday we went over the angles and potential, like getting a radar gun to speed check my run-ins to the 180, and at the end of the day, I'm a feel person. I don't go on numbers. When there's numbers, I'm not very good at math, so it's just too much for my brain to contemplate. So the less I think, I'm all on feel. And if I have a relationship with Jason Baker that is very, very, very special, that I literally trust that dude with my life.
Yeah, because that's what it is at that point.
It literally is. When he's out there building this stuff, he's mentally hitting this stuff in his head, and him being an ex-racer, like, he knows what things should be in transitions, and to the distance of the jump, he knows the size of the lip and the transition should be a certain number, right? So everything that he builds is so consistently the same, give or take on how steep the angle is, depending on how long the jump is. But for the most part, everything being so crazy out here, like so much to take in at first. Once you start clicking the jumps off, every single jump is exactly the same. And I think a lot of the guys and gal that are here, we all have a racing background, so we have that bike skill and that like technical timing that, like, being a racer helps at something like this, because you can basically time this stuff. Like, that's Jason Baker, Dream Tracks. He's built all the Supercross tracks, test tracks, all this stuff for years, and he's been in a blueprint of a 65-foot triple at this angle, and it has to be this tall, and he's in a blueprint. So now with this, like, he's able to take that, what he's learned from years of doing all these tracks, and not be in a box or have a blueprint, and basically build whatever his wildest dreams as well as mine, you know? So if he says he can build it, then I trust him tenfold, 100%. He builds it to maximize your power, and as long as you commit, it works. Yeah. So I guess going back into yesterday with that 180, there was a lot of different opinions on the jump and it being too steep, and we kind of all gathered with each other. After everyone left yesterday, I did some speed runs. I stayed back and did some speed runs into it, and we decided to take about a few. It was 38 degrees at the takeoff, so you have a 60-foot jump out of the container into this 180-foot jump. The run-in's not really long enough to pull fourth, so you have to maximize third gear, and it started at 38 degrees. And we made the decision to drop it to 34 and continue the belly from the bottom of the jump, continue that transition at 34 off of it. And riding off of it before that, it's such a step up, it's such a big jump that, like, talking with Matto and stuff, there's a certain angle of a ramp to get you the proper height and distance. So to pop your height to then drop you into the landing how it should be done, it has to be steeper than what we had it. And and there, that go-to is more or less like almost like a 45-degree angle. Like, you think a 75 ramp would be 45 degrees at the top, but it's a quick transition. He when the distance jumps ramps, he has a long gradual takeoff, but then it gets to 45 for a long time, and the ramp's massive, right? So this being such a big, tall lip, it was 38, and in my eyes, I've visualized that thing since the day I got here, and it looked right to me. When you look from the back, it looks steep, but when you look from the side, it looks like it was gonna put you where it needed to. Yes, it was going to boot you to the fucking moon, no matter what, but I think it would have worked. And to that point, it still worked when we took the 4 degrees off, but the 4 degrees was a lot. And visualizing it so many times coming in, I basically told myself it's going to be third wrapped, and I'm not going to pull. I'm not going to do anything crazy. I'm just going to stay strong, chest over the bars, and just fully commit. And I had this question earlier, like, if you guys hit this kind of stuff, like, does time slow down for you? And I'm so focused that everything else around me was like completely tunnel vision that time slowed down. And I had literally a cunt hair of a second to make an adjustment. Like as I was coming in and I knew I was committing and I was going, there was no other way around it. I was coming up to that lip, and as I was starting to climb the lip, I was like, oh fuck.
Really? You didn't think you were gonna make it?
And at the very top, I had that split second of a thought of like the time slowed down for me. And I just told myself, like, you gotta fucking yank.
Yeah.
And I yanked, and damn glad I yanked, because I was 185 to the sweet spot, and I went 170. And if I was about 2 feet shorter, it would have been bad. And I told myself, like, it was literally slowed it down to the point enough that as soon as I left the lip, it was so slow motion that I literally told myself, there's no fucking way that a helicopter is coming here twice today.
Yeah.
That's not an option. And unfortunately, if that was to happen and I hung my rear wheel, that probably would have been the case 100%, because it's insane. But it worked, and now knowing that it worked, I didn't jump it again because we needed to make a couple adjustments on the ramp, steepen it back up and lower the landing a little bit, which makes the jump a little bit shorter and not as much of a step up, and then it works. But I trust that dude with my life, and you just gotta, he builds it to commit, and as long as you commit, it's gonna work. And I'm glad that one worked based on what I saw before we adjusted it. I thought that was it, and then there was so many other opinions of like, I think it's too steep, I think it's this, I think it's that, and then that's why I stayed and did the test runs, and then we decided to flatten it, which, yes, for granted it still worked, but that 38 number was right in the ballpark, and that just goes to show mine and Jason's relationship.
Yeah, it was right the first time.
What he builds it how he sees it, and that allows me to have such a trust level with him that however he sees it, I trust it. You know, like him, and not just Jason. And this whole week, you know, and this whole month of him and his whole crew out here, a lot of the eyes get turned towards Jason because he's Dream Tracks, right? But it's not just him; it's his whole entire crew. Like Sean Rife and Riffy, like is the baddest dude, most technical rider growing up, and I raced with him, and it's the same thing with him. He's mentally hitting these things in his head as he's building them, and when you hit them, it's the funnest, most perfect jump ever. And once you get that trust level with this crew,
game on.
It's game on. You know.
We're excited to announce the launch of our new membership site, gypsytales.com, packed with exclusive content and perks that you won't find anywhere else. This is your chance to become a part of the Gypsy Gang. And as a special bonus, if you sign up to an annual membership, you'll be entered into the draw to win our custom-built TC125. Gypsy Gang.